and I finally jailbroke this version 1 switch, and it was pretty simple and easy to do. And I went with the sys custom firmware. I installed the latest atmosphere, and I also installed Android, which I'll show you guys here in just a minute. Let's go back and see if we can launch Android and show you what I got installed on that end. And I really like this app here, which is the reboot to payload. So I can just reboot into the recovery or whatever, Hikate, go into more configs and switch to Android. And Android is running pretty smooth. I installed Android 10. The latest Android you can have installed on the Switch is Android 15, I believe, and that one was just crashing all over the place, so I just uninstalled it and redid everything. And as far as my partition goes for the Android, I did 32 gigs, as I would imagine my SD card would still be read through Android and having my 200 gigs of space, and that was the case. So I don't really need too much for the OS. Obviously you will if you're going to be like installing apps and stuff like that. I've been testing a lot of different things on the Switch, on the Android side. So there's a lot of malicious stuff out there. You have to be very careful, but I'm just messing around and having some fun. And I did install 2 different types of Dolphin, but I found this one here was more stable and gave me a lot more features and settings to kind of mess around with with each of the game settings, so that way I can have the best settings set up for each game. For example, if you hold down on Rayman, you can see all of these different settings, custom game settings, details, cheat codes, and stuff like that. And one thing you have to do before you start a game is make sure that you get your GameCube controller all set up, because if you don't, then you won't be able to do anything. So I'll be making a tutorial on all of this stuff, especially with the Dolphin emulator on the Switch. I think this is awesome and very handy, and most of these games are running at 50 to 60 frames per second, which is good. I tested about 5 or 6 games so far, and hopefully I'll continue to test more games. As far as this the Wii goes, this one is a little bit more difficult. I'll have to kind of adjust some of the settings and figure out some of the remote settings on here. And I'm just doing it, you know, not looking at any guides. I'm just kind of just going through these settings and seeing what I can do too. Now moving on to the Wii, this one is having a little bit of hard time picking up my Joy-Con, so I'll have to go back into the remote settings and figure that out. But for the most part, once you dump your Joy-Cons, you can connect both of them wirelessly via Bluetooth, which works really good, and it works very well. I'm very happy about that. And some games I tried to download, as far as like apps for Android, for example, like this one here. This one was kind of cool. This is like a Crash Bandicoot Game Boy Advance game, and I would have to connect my Joy-Cons to Bluetooth to give it to work, but let's just go and play this here. And it does save my state, which is kind of interesting. But the problem that I've been having with some of these games or APKs that I install from APK Mirror or some other apps or other websites is that I get a weird pop-up of an ad, which I'm not too big of a fan of. On my Sony Ericsson, I didn't have that issue when I, did the whole jailbreak on that phone and installed games, which I will also have to get back into. But I'll show you guys that. And this was an APK that I installed from, I think from APK Mirror. There it is. There's the, I don't know what, some kind of ad that pops up, but so far so good. As far as like apps working and games and Dolphin, that's the main thing, is I just want Dolphin to work. And then I also came across another app, Tubi, which I'm not very familiar with. I don't really watch TV and stuff like that. I'm usually like gaming or working on stuff and or watching YouTube. I'm basically on YouTube most of the time. But Tubi is like a free watch movies, TVs, and things like that. And I installed it, and I get this message saying that Google Play services which are not supported by your device, so it won't run without it. But actually, it does run without the Google Play services, which is kind of interesting. So, for example, if we wanted to watch Jurassic World here, give me 1 second. So I got to be careful with copyright, but you can basically watch anything on here. I already tested it, and it's pretty solid. Like, I can watch anything on here. And I don't believe that the Nintendo Switch has an app like this where you can watch movies and shows like that. I know you have YouTube, what is it, Crunchyroll and Hulu, but this is an alternative which works very well. Let's see if I can put some Looney Tunes on. I just saw that here. Here we go. And all you have to do is just play it, and that message will pop up, but you just have to keep hitting OK. Let's see. Keep hitting OK. And there it is. It's working. Let's see if I can move up. That's pretty awesome. That is pretty cool. So I can get out of there. And the Android 15 that I installed, it was crashing constantly. It just kept saying the system crashed, wait or stop, wait or stop. And every time I stopped, it would go back to the lock screen, and then I would have to open it, and then that message would pop up again. But so far, Android 10 on here is pretty solid. Now, the only thing that I missed out on, which I would love to have installed, was the Google Play Store, because there are some things I'd love to test, as I do have an account and I do use it quite a bit on my phone. And one of those is playing Pokemon Go. So I'd love to test out to see if I can get Pokemon Go to work on here and see if it actually does work. I'm pretty sure it will work because it doesn't really require anything crazy when it comes to Pokemon Go. You can play it on, like, I forgot what the lowest version it is for Google or for Android for Pokemon Go. But so far so good. Again, like, the only thing that I failed to install was the Google Play Store. It's a bundle that you'll have to flash onto your partition that you create on your SD card with Lineage OS, which is the Android that we're using on the Switch. And you would have to flash it at the same time and install it, because I tried to install multiple different versions for Android 10, and they just kept crashing. One Google Play services was working, but then it started crashing after a few hours of use. So that ended up not working for me either. So there's a lot of things that I'll have to start testing and seeing if they work. Now, this app is a little bit malicious here because there's so many ads, but I'm hoping to find some kind of like APK store, Homebrew store that I can use on Android. I really don't jailbreak or go through Android roots and things like that, so I'll be diving more into that on the Switch, just because I want to use this console to the best, or to the most of its capabilities. I doubt some of these would get installed, and I'm kind of skeptical on installing some of this stuff because there's so many ads on these apps. Like, I downloaded, what was it that I downloaded that I did not? Oh crap, Minecraft. This was a game I downloaded off of that app, and a ton of ads just started showing up. Which, see, right? The game didn't even start and I already got an ad. So I think this app is gonna have to go. But I just wanted to talk about it because I think something like this on Android would be awesome. instead of going on the web browser like APK Mirror and things like that to download what you need, right? Like this one was unfortunate. I really wanted to play this game, but this one just kind of stays stuck. It looks good. It looks like it's going through, but it just doesn't want to start. It just stays stuck on the screen. And I had it like this for like 15 minutes. I was like, yeah, I think this thing is not working. But yeah, last thing I'd like to talk about is changing out the thermal paste on here, because ever since I started using it, this thing was overheating. So I went ahead and took it apart and I applied new thermal paste. So that is it for this video, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. I really do appreciate your time. And if you guys have any questions, please let me know in the comment section down below. And if you're interested in any mods, shell swaps, repairs, jailbreaks, whatever, just let me know. Check out my website down in the comment section below, pinned, and also in the description. It's roblesjr.com, and I offer a ton of services when it comes to repairs on consoles and deep cleaning and all sorts of fun stuff. So make sure to check it out and take care, everyone. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.